Hello, everyone. It's your best friend, Klean. Good to see you. So, with the recent change to RMT, we have been getting a lot of flame, of course, on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and pretty much any battle state social media platform. If you guys aren't aware of what the drama is, BSG just implemented a new change to combat RMT. If you aren't fully aware of what RMT is, it stands for real money trading. And what real money trading is where you go to a website or even eBay and you buy items in game and buy them for real money. This is a massive reason as to why people cheat. It's one of the biggest reasons, actually, because profiteering off of RMT is a huge problem, always has been for years in Tarkov. Cheaters have been able to profit off of cheating. I know I'm not the only one who went into a raid, was obviously killed by a hacker, had a really sweet kit, and was like, damn, I'm gonna lose that kit, fuck. And then the next day you get it back in insurance. You wanna know why? It's because they don't give a fuck about your gear. They're not playing the game like everybody else, or the intent like everybody else would be, just to progress, get gear, do PvP, finish quests. They're doing it for the purpose of finding found and raid items that are very valuable and then selling them on these RMT websites or eBay. This is a huge problem and always has been. And the change that BSG recently did was to combat this. Basically what they did is they now have a huge list of items that you can no longer even drop in raid anymore. If you try and drop them, it deletes them. Not only that, if you go in a raid with these items in your inventory outside of your secured container, they'll get deleted upon death. So if you die, they're just gone. So there's literally no way that you can possibly pick up a non-found in raid item that is on that list. The list basically includes everything from red key cards, matches, drugs and stimulants, and various other keys and valuables and barter goods that players would usually drop for their friends, or more popularly, get from RMT. This is kind of a double-edged sword because it means that you can't really give your friend, that key for his quest that you're not using anymore. You can't give your buddy that lab card to go on a lab raid anymore. You can't kind of boost people in that way, even if it wasn't in a RMT sense, but you're just trying to help your buddy out. But there's an alternative to that. Now that you can't do that anymore, with the exception of maybe the lab cards, is going into raids and actually helping your friends with those things that they need. Open that door for them for that quest. Help them kill that scav boss so they can get a lab card so that you can go to labs. Help them, find those barter goods that they need for their hideout. Whatever it is. Now we kind of have to be a little bit more active and we can't just hand things out to our friends. However, this doesn't apply to guns, armor, backpacks, ammunition, and various other goods. So we can still hey bro, can you get my gear back? Hey chat, you want to do a viewer kit raid? You can still do those. So that's not an exception anymore because frankly, armor, guns, and gear were never really that popular for RMT to begin with. It was always very big high ticket items. And something else I also want to bring up is that a lot of people think that this is just going to increase the amount of carry services now that this RMT changes it. And I think that's kind of a good educated guess. But I don't think it's really going to be that bad. I think it's actually going to reduce the amount of cheaters overall. It's not going to increase them. And if it does increase them, the reduction from the RMT cheaters is still going to be a significant reduction compared to the potential boost in players paying for a carry service. Basically, what I mean is a cheater can go into a lobby within about 10 minutes, go wipe the raid, find whatever expensive, valuable items that they could sell on an RMT website and make quite a lot of money each raid very quickly. Wouldn't take them that much time. Whereas doing a carry service, you have to stay in that raid with that player for the entire time until the raid is finished. That's what you're paying for. And a typical carry is anywhere from $5 to $7 for a raid, basically. And you're essentially paying $5 to $7 for up to 30 to 40 minutes of work, where you could do half of that with RMTing by going into the raid using speed cheats, killing everything, finding up all the loot, sucking it up, whatever, and then get out. And you can make way more money. There's a lot of high ticket items in RMT for Tarkov that can go anywhere from $50 to $100. And so if you have a couple of good raids, you just made a couple $100 just like that in maybe an hour or two if you're lucky. But with the carry services, it's not really the same thing. You're just trying to sit there and hopefully get that guy whatever the hell he wants. And a lot of the time, like if you're paying for a carry service, you're probably just a dog shit player to begin with. So you know that guy's just babysitting the fuck out of that player. So I don't think that this is going to drastically increase the amount of people doing carry services. Will it? It's potential. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a very good educated guess. But overall, I know for a fact that this is going to reduce the overall activity of cheaters, because now cheating in Tarkov is no longer as profitable. Don't get me wrong, there's people who cheat to troll, there's people who cheat to do carry services, but the biggest reason why people have cheated in EFT for the longest time is to profit. It's because they can make a lot of money cheating in this game. It's because the consumer base, or part of the consumer base for whatever reason, will pay money for these in-game items for whatever reason. And so even Nikita tweeted today saying that he's noticed a massive reduction in cheaters, and what they've been witnessing has been helping out a lot. And that, you know, this is just a new change and we're going to have to fucking deal with it. And that's just it. We're going to have to adapt. And again, this is just another wake-up call for, I think, a lot of people in this community, that this is just not probably going to be the game for you moving forward. Like I've taken my time off from EFT because like the game past year or so kind of like grew into a state that I wasn't very fond of. And it wasn't necessarily the game specifically, but it was just more the community. And now like I'm kind of starting to step back in. I can see them making a lot of these changes and having them like literally follow through with their vision more and more and more, and kind of seeing the good things that it's doing for the game. And like I'm starting to like want to play it again more, because like BSG is actually following through with their ideas, and they have this like, hey, we're making a game we want and not the way you want attitude, and like fuck you if you don't like it. But obviously, you know, BSG is still very good at listening to feedback, and they are good at about responding to criticism. Depending on what it is, you know, they'll change it. And, you know, I think that's great because they're very like plugged in with the community, and that's great. But I think past couple years, they're a little too plugged in, and they're like listening to the community too much. And, you know, obviously we can kind of see how that kind of affected the game like the past year or two in some rights. And so, you know, there's just a lot of other content creators out there too that are like, you know, not happy with the changes. They think it's awful, terrible, this and that. And, you know, they'll even come at people like me, or, you know, anybody else who kind of supports what BSG is doing, and call us like bootlickers, and like they'll basically call us names and stuff. But, you know, at the same time, there is a side of people who do take BSG's side on this type of stuff that will also call names to the other side and throw shit. But I personally never do that. I try and be as respectful as I can. I like to have discussions. I like to have good, constructive, critical, you know, conversations about stuff to, you know, hopefully divulge and share new information. I'm not one to, you know, kind of sling shade or shit at somebody else just because of an opinion in a video game. I used to do that, don't get me wrong, but, you know, motherfuckers grow, you know, we change, is what it is. And so that's basically kind of the news for what's happened like past day or so, and you know, what BSG is kind of doing. And, you know, I'm honestly glad, because like, again, like I think that every single update from here on out is really just going to be like, hey, guess what? This game probably not for you, even if it's just a change like this that combats RMT. But at the end of the day, I think that this is a overall better change for the game, and I don't think BSG would have done this without some due diligence, because they, you know, they infiltrate like cheater forums, RMT websites, forums, stuff like that. And so they know what they're up to, and they know how they're doing and operating. So like, I don't think they would have just made this decision without a, you know, enough due diligence and research on their part. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you next time. And until the next Twitch stream, YouTube video, you know where to find me. I'll see you later. Peace out.